Hi, fellow Clixers. I'm Cliff from Clix with Clifford's, bringing you another video on how to play Heroclix. Now, today we're going to be covering action types and action tokens so that you have a better understanding of how to play the game of Heroclix. Now, actions are kind of a complicated thing to try to explain to someone over video, but I will do the best that I can, so just stick with me. Let me know if there's any questions that you have in the comment section down below. Now, let's get into it. Actions. Actions are one of the most important parts about playing Heroclix, and a very important thing for you to know about in order to make your most effective use of characters on the field. First, we're going to be talking about action tokens. Now, action tokens are a way for you to indicate that a character has been given an action at any point during the game. WizKids makes these handy dandy little poker chip type ones that come with images on them usually. They are very good, and honestly, the best option that I have found for indicating what their character has actions. I've seen people use like little glass beads or custom markers, but I like the tokens. They just go right underneath your character, and it's an easy indicator, and it keeps the board free of obstacles that can move around a lot. And also, if someone accidentally knocks your character over, there's a little marker to remind you of where he was. Now, types of actions. There are various types of actions, which I'm going to go over with you today. Now, there are move, power, close, range, close destroy, range destroy, and free actions. Free actions. Free actions are one of the easiest ones to explain because they don't require the giving of an action token. A free action is exactly that. It is free for your character to do. Some powers, such as the pink movement power known as Sidestep, says free and then move 2 squares, which means that he can do that as a free action, so he's still able to do other stuff this turn. It is important to note that you cannot be given the same free action more than once per turn. Some powers that use free actions are Sidestep, Plasticity, and Outwit, and there are various other actions as well, but those are some important ones to know that are free. Okay, move. Move is one of the easier actions to explain too. It is indicated on the PAC with a capitalized MOVE. Now, this is separate than when other texts say things like move your character half squares. They'll be in lowercase, and that means physically moving your character versus the actual action called move. Now, to give someone a move action, you will just say, I'm giving him a move action, move them up to their movement square as described in previous videos that I did, and after actions resolve, you will place an action token underneath of them. Now, that indicates that Batman has taken one action this turn, and no character can be given more than one action in any given turn. That is, any non-free actions in any given turn. So once he is moved, he can no longer do any non-free actions. Okay, close. Close is exactly what it sounds like. It is giving somebody an action token in order to make a close attack. So in this case, if Batman wanted to attack Saturnine, you would give him a close action, put the action token underneath him, roll your attack dice, compare it against your defense, and deal damage, and afterwards, Batman will no longer be able to take any non-free actions. There are some powers that will say things like, give this character a close, and then the effect that they do, just like move, it's capital CLOSE, and it is not the same as just making an attack. Sometimes, such as with charge, it'll say move half your speed, then make a close attack. That is different than moving half your speed and taking a close action. Range actions. Now, range actions are just like close actions, except they are at range, making sure that your character is within line of fire and within range, as I described in previous videos that I have done. It's the same as before, where you'd give Saturnine here an action to attack Batman at range. He is within line of fire and within her range, so now she would attack, compare defenses, deal damage, and now Saturnine can no longer take any non-free actions. It is again important to note that range is capitalized RANGE, which is different than just making a ranged attack, because there are some abilities that are things that give this character a range versus giving in an attack, like ranged like running shot, which says that I can move up to half my speed, then make a ranged attack, is not the same as moving half your speed and taking a ranged action. Now, close destroy and range destroy, I'm just going to cover because they're basically the same thing. It is the act of giving your character an action to destroy a piece of blocking terrain or an object that is out on the map. To do so, a character has to be able to deal at least 3 damage. The square has to be with either adjacent for close or within range and line of fire for ranged actions. So you would take an action against Batman to take a close destroy to destroy this action here. Once you do so, like if you destroy blocking, you put a square of hindering underneath of it to indicate that you have destroyed that terrain. And just like before, Batman can now no longer take any non-free actions. And the same exact is for range. You must be within range and line of fire, must do 3 damage, and then you can target either of the object or the blocking terrain. Objects are destroyed and removed from game and scored, while blocking terrain or barrier is just destroyed. Power actions. Power actions are a strange one because they are literally actions that you are taking to use a power. There are powers listed on the PAC or on special powers listed on the card that will say power, capital POWER, and then what power they do. It is very simply giving your character an action token and then doing whatever the power describes. Power actions are typically things that are going to do something pretty awesome. There's a very important part of this game, and that is that a character can never have more than 2 actions on them during a turn. So let's say Batman moved 1 turn, gained an action, moved the next turn, gained an action. Now, on turn 3, on the one after that, he cannot be given a non-free action because he has 2 action tokens on him. There are ways to remove action tokens, such as with leadership and willpower, but if during the turn you find that your character has 2 action tokens, they cannot be given any non-free action. There is one action that they can be given, and that is to clear. It is called a clear action. It's very simply the only action he takes during the game is to remove, or during that turn, is to remove all action tokens that are on him. Now, whether it's 1 or 2, when you clear, you remove all of them unless there's an outside effect saying otherwise. And there you have it, fellow Clixers. That is action tokens and action types and how to use them. I hope that this video helped you out. Please let me know if you have any questions down below. And until next time, stay bored, gamers.
And I'm bored.
And I'm so bored in this game.
I'm so bored.